Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever felt, completely overwhelmed or just utterly drained by trying to manage other people's
Oh,
opinions?
definitely. Or their criticisms, maybe.
Exactly, or the constant, nagging worry about what everyone else thinks or what they're doing.
It's like you're carrying this heavy mental backpack, right?
Yeah.
And it's full of someone else's emotional stuff.
Yeah, their baggage, not yours.
What's fascinating here is how Mel Robbins tackles that feeling head on. She calls it the let them theory.
Let them.
Okay. And she frames it as, well, more than just an idea. It's a practical, potentially life-changing tool. The promise is helping you get your peace back, reclaim some control.
Control over your own reactions, I guess.
Precisely. At its heart, it's this pretty radical but actually quite simple philosophy. It's about detaching yourself from other people's drama, their judgments,
Letting go.
truly letting go of that need to control anything but your own responses.
That sounds powerful and needed, maybe. So, our mission in this deep dive is really to explore how those two little words, let them, how they can fundamentally shift your mindset,
Yeah, freeing you up.
freeing you to focus your precious energy back on yourself, your own life, instead of constantly reacting to everyone else.
Exactly. Now, one thing that comes up when people first hear let them, a common misunderstanding pops up.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
That it means just becoming passive
Hmm.
or apathetic, maybe.
Yeah.
Just tolerating everything that comes your way.
Right, like being a doormat.
But what's really crucial to grasp here is that the let them theory is actually an active choice. It's a conscious decision about where you put your emotional and mental energy.
Okay, so it's not passive acceptance, it's an active redirection.
You got it.
Okay.
It's not about ignoring problems, right?
Yeah.
It's about recognizing, okay, where does my responsibility end and where does someone else's begin?
The boundaries.
It's a deliberate act. Choosing not to absorb or react to all that external negativity, especially the stuff that isn't yours to fix in the first place.
That distinction feels really important. It sounds incredibly freeing, actually. But how does someone really do that? Cultivate that mindset when maybe you've got these deeply ingrained habits like people pleasing or really needing that external thumbs up.
Yeah, those habits run deep.
Let's take a common scenario. Say you have a friend and they constantly complain about the exact same problem over and over, but they never actually do anything you suggest.
We've all been there.
How do you apply let them in that situation without feeling like you're being, I don't know, uncaring?
That's a perfect example,
Yeah.
actually. So in that situation, instead of feeling like you have to fix it or getting sort of sucked into their negativity loop,
Yeah, which is exhausting.
totally, you let them own their feelings and you let them own their inaction too.
Yeah.
It means you can still listen, show empathy, absolutely, but you don't take on the burden of solving their problem.
Yeah.
You might say something like, wow, I hear you, that sounds really tough, or I support you in whatever you decide. But you consciously choose not to engage in that unproductive cycle of offering solutions they just won't take.
So you detach from the outcome.
Exactly. This isn't about apathy. It's about recognizing, hey, I'm not responsible for their emotional state or their choices. You're only responsible for your own reaction, your own energy. And that, it frees you up to set much stronger, healthier boundaries.
So it's really about those boundaries then, not just physical ones, but emotional ones too, right?
Definitely emotional ones.
What about maybe more challenging situations? Like say a colleague is gossiping about you, or a family member just constantly gives you that unsolicited critical advice.
Oh, the unsolicited advice. Yeah.
How do you apply let them when it feels like your actual worth is being kind of attacked or questioned?
Right. That's where the theory gets really empowering.
Yeah.
If a colleague is gossiping, you let them show their own character through their actions.
You don't engage.
You don't engage. You don't retaliate.
Yeah.
Because honestly, their behavior says way more about them than it does about you.
Okay.
And similarly with those critical family members,
Mm.
you let them have their opinions. You can acknowledge their words, hear them, but without letting those words dictate your self-worth or force you to change your actions.
Easier said than done sometimes, though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It takes practice. But the theory suggests, if someone treats you in ways that are just not acceptable, maybe they cross a major boundary, they lie, betray trust, you let them face the consequences of those actions.
And what does that look like?
Often, it means you stop engaging. Or maybe you create more distance. It redirects that really intense desire we sometimes have for control away from trying to manage other people and puts it back towards positive self-management, your own growth, your own peace.
Yeah, that's quite a shift. It really sounds like a complete reorientation of where you put your energy, where you put your focus.
It really is.
So what does this all mean then for your day-to-day life? I guess it means finding maybe a kind of profound mental peace, a new sort of freedom, the
Yeah.
kind that comes from finally stepping off that exhausting treadmill, trying to please everyone or always looking for their approval.
Letting go of that need.
It liberates you, doesn't it? To
Wow.
actually line up your life with what you value, what you want, to live more authentically.
Absolutely. And, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this raises a really important question, I think.
Okay.
Just imagine how much more energy and focus you might suddenly find yourself with if you truly embrace this idea, if you really started letting others simply be.
Letting them make their own choices, have their opinions.
Face their own consequences, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you could take all that energy you used to spend trying to control or worry about them and redirect it inwards
Mm.
towards positive self-management,
Wow.
what could you build? What could you achieve? Or even just what could you enjoy with all that newfound mental space and freedom? Makes
Yeah.
you think, doesn't it?